All right, well, good morning, ladies. Happy 4th of July. I love that everybody's in their red, white, and blue. Thanks for coming to hang out with me for this morning. What is our series this week, or this month? We are talking about light, refreshing summer. And so today, perfect for 4th of July. Look at the platter I brought. I mean, come on. How more 4th of July can you get? That I actually bought before the 4th of July, and I was just like, oh my God, great opportunity to use it. We were talking watermelon salad the last time I was out here, so I'm delivering, as promised, the watermelon salad. Perfect for today. Recipe will be coming at you via email, but it is very simple. Some of it I have done in advance, and then I've got plenty of samples, so you guys get to take some home, enjoy it, but please make it over the summer because it's so, so good. So I will walk you through, let me put my glasses on here. This is a watermelon salad with chipotle lime vinaigrette. Very, very, everything you see here, that is it. That's all it takes. So it has 6 cups of seedless watermelon, which I'll cut up in a second here. 6 ears of fresh corn. These I just roasted on my gas range. Took just, I don't know, not even 10 minutes. 1 English cucumber. 2 red onions. I just have 1 here, I'm going to walk you through how to make that in a second. Apple cider vinegar, 1 cup of water, 3 tablespoons of brown sugar, 1 teaspoon of salt, a teaspoon of whole peppercorns, and then 1 pack of fresh basil. This is all I could find at my local store. It's Thai basil, so it's a little more pungent, but it's still just as delicious, but regular basil works fine. So that's for the salad part, and then for the dressing, super easy. We're gonna use 2 limes, a little bit of Dijon mustard, some honey, and then for the spices, to kind of give it a little bit of kick, is smoked paprika, right there, and then some chili powder, a little black pepper, salt, and canola oil. And that is it, ladies. This is gonna be, when we're thinking about summer, we don't wanna spend a lot of time in the house, right? We're like, oh my God, it's so hot. Also hot for me because my AC's been out since Monday and it's not getting fixed till Monday. So this is a great recipe in respect to just not having to do a lot of stuff. So the only thing you really have to do is the corn. And if you're grilling out anyway, throw a couple extra on, you're good to go. So I will walk you through first how I did. Basically, I'm adding some pickled onions to this salad. Forgot the onions at my house, but I'm going to walk you through how we did that. So let me get my gloves on here. This, I don't know if you all remember. So we did a pickled onion for another recipe, the papaya ceviche maybe. And I did that one over the stovetop, the brine, right? This one is no stovetop. Great, right? So basically we're gonna just take a red onion. You can use 2 or maybe just 1. I think I did 2 because of the amount of watermelon, but 1 will do just fine, especially if you have a large onion like this. So I'm just gonna do half just so I can show you. Or maybe I'll do whole, I don't know, we'll see. But we're gonna just do a quick brine for it and then just let it sit. This one, I let it sit overnight, but just a few hours, just until it pickles and it turns that beautiful kind of pink color. But red onion does the trick. It's always beautiful for pickled onions. And then I just try to cut it as thin as I can. This one's pretty pungent. I don't know if you guys have secrets for cutting onions without crying. I wear contacts, so that kind of helps, but not always, because this is pretty strong. I don't know if you guys can smell that, but it's pretty strong. Woo! My mom always used to say if you stuck a piece of bread in your mouth while you were cutting, it would absorb the onion. Oh, wow. I don't know. I've tried that. It doesn't always work. Some people say if you freeze the onion and then cut it, that kind of helps cut down on some of that. Also, I've heard a cutting by candlelight, which sounds very romantic, but I don't know that that helps either. Okay, so basically we're gonna just pop these into this bowl here. And the brine consists of 1 cup of apple cider vinegar. I'll just do that so you can see. We'll pretend for the sake of the show. So 1 cup of apple cider vinegar. Look at that. And then you're also going to add 1 cup of water, which I have here. Also the 3 tablespoons of the brown sugar goes in, and then the black peppercorns, how much? Let's see. Oh boy. I think it's a teaspoon. You guys don't have the recipe to help me out. I believe it's a teaspoon. I just made this yesterday. And then another teaspoon of just salt. Okay. Now you could add some additional things in here, like maybe some bay leaves, some fresh herbs like thyme, maybe some garlic cloves if you wanted to. Heck, you could even throw in like some chili peppers to spice things up, but this is a pretty basic brine. And so yeah, I'll just let this sit in the fridge covered. I did it overnight, so the sample that you'll get, you'll have the pickled red onion in there. I don't know what I was thinking this morning because I was hot. I moved the pickled ones that I made yesterday into a container. I'm like, I got everything I need. And I was like driving here 5 minutes ago thinking, oh, shoot, the onions. Okay, so anyway, now that I've cried my heart out with the onions, I'm going to move this aside here. But basically, you'll get those beautiful pink onions from that. And then the next thing I'm going to show you is the dressing, because that's super easy as well. So what we do for the dressing, sorry, I gotta take my glove off. I can see what I'm doing here. Okay, 2 limes, juiced, 1 teaspoon Dijon, 2 tablespoons honey. Quarter, half, quarter. Okay. We are gonna start with some lime juice, just 2 nice big limes here. And this is so, like, I mean, this is one of my favorite salads. I don't even know how I came up with this. It was probably in the summer when I saw watermelon. Some years you get really good watermelon, some years you don't. This year's a good one, I think, because we've had so much rain and so much heat. So everyone that I've picked has been great. Do you guys have any tricks for picking a good watermelon? No? Okay.
My husband dumps it.
Yeah, my mom does that too, but I don't really...
He's like,
yeah, I know. I always wonder that too. I'm like, well, I guess if it's like heavier and it sounds like it's more like solid, maybe it's sweeter. Like, right? That's my only theory for that, because my mom's done that forever, and I'm like, what are you thumping for? What are you... I have heard, I kind of go by the yellow on the bottom, because that means that it's been ripening longer. Like if there's more yellow, it's been sitting on the ground longer. Also, somebody told me about like the stripes, and I can't remember if it's like the stripes are wider, that means it's sweeter. But there's different kinds of watermelon too. Like you'll see the men on the side of the road with the giant, longer watermelons that have seeds, and those are always super sweet. Good morning. And then the ones that I like, which was one of these, are the kind of the more compact, smaller ones that you'll find at the regular grocery store. They feel pretty solid. This one's pretty sweet. And it's seedless, which I love too. Okay, so in goes the 2 lime. We're also going to do a teaspoon of Dijon. So very simple dressing here. Anybody have any fun plans for the 4th today, besides coming to hang out with me this morning?
I'm dancing afterwards.
Ooh, yay, okay. Where are you guys going dancing?
Line dancing.
Oh, line dancing. I love that. Okay. Ooh, okay. Well, we'll be sure to get you out of here so you can get your groove on. Okay, I don't know what's happening here with my phone. Okay, 2 tablespoons of honey, and then I'm going to try to remember the rest of this recipe. Jesus, it's been a week, it's been a morning. Okay, but it's going to be delicious, I promise. We have some samples ready to go. My lovely assistant, Jose, will pass those out in a moment here, and then there's a dressing that's made separately, so you can pour at your leisure how much or how little you'd like. Okay, and then we're gonna do a 1/4 teaspoon of smoked paprika. I'm really challenging my memory skills here. Let's see how I do. And I think it's a 1/2 teaspoon of everything else. Okay. Chipotle, actually this is, yeah, chipotle chili pepper. Just a little more smoky. This dressing, the longer it sits, the even more flavorful it gets. So half a teaspoon of that, and then half a teaspoon of black pepper, so a little more kick. It's not super spicy, it's just kind of nice and smoky. And then half a teaspoon of salt. And what am I missing? Canola oil. So just half a cup of this. Okay, very simple dressing, because we don't want to be in the kitchen all summer, right? Especially since I don't have air conditioning right now. I mean, seriously, of all the times for the AC to go out for a whole week, 4th of July weekend, great. I won't forget it. I won't forget this 4th of July, that's for sure. Okay, so.
Won't be fixed until next.
Well, they had to get a part, and the part apparently is in Austin, and since they were closed on Friday, they weren't able to go pick it up until Monday, and yeah, so by the time they go get it and drive it back up here, I'm like, yeah, good times. Okay, so there's our dressing. Very simple, comes together, smells great. So I'm gonna set that aside, and then we're gonna assemble our salad. So let me just clean up here a little bit. Okay, so for the salad, what we want is the watermelon first. Let's start with that. And so I kind of broke it down, cut it a little bit. I'm gonna, let me see, what do I want to do? Let's do this. I just kind of cut it into slabs once I take the peel off, right, the rind. And I'll show you. Just so, oh, it's a little thin, but just so that you get some nice cubes. And I'm kind of particular, so I'll kind of like cut off the end pieces just so it's perfectly square, but you don't have to do that. You don't have to be so weird like I am. You can use all of it. I'm a bit of a perfectionist when it comes to the kitchen. But all of it will be delicious, always nice and cold and refreshing. We'll talk about that in a minute. You want about 6 cups, so I'm going to assemble this as we're kind of going along here. And we'll see how it does on this beautiful platter. Let's see, I'm just going to kind of pop this on here. I want to eat some of this right now because it's so cold. And I was outside this morning and it's so muggy already. Okay, another. Yeah, so I just, I don't know if you all have ever seen, you can also use the rind and pickle it. I tasted once, somebody made pickled watermelon rind and it was so tasty. You have to add quite a bit of sugar to it, but I think you just make like a simple syrup and then just let it sit in that and then somehow maybe let it sort of drain it, dry it. But it's like candy. So like if you've ever had candied orange peel, you can do that with the watermelon rind so you don't waste it. Yeah, I'll see if I can. You just eat it. You could, I guess, add it to salads. I'll see if I can find a recipe for you guys. I've always been kind of curious because it does seem like kind of wasteful, but or if you have a pet, turtle, rabbit, maybe feed it to them. I don't know. This looks great. This is probably more than 6 cups. I don't know. I'm kind of eyeballing it here, but I think that looks great. We're gonna make it look really pretty on here. I love this platter. Seriously, that's kind of perfect. This is a great one again. I'm always trying to find recipes that you can sort of share with friends and family when you have events, right? Like people coming over. Something that is a crowd pleaser. This one definitely will be. Okay, I'm gonna save that. Let me just rinse off my board here because it's a little slippery. Okay, and then let's see, the next thing I do is the cucumber. And so for this is a pretty big cucumber. I got mustard on my, why is this glove full of mustard? I don't know. I don't know what's happening over here, these spoons, okay. See if you guys can see what I'm doing. Put that there. Look, even the tablecloth matches. It's like we're having a picnic. It's great. It's great. It is. Okay, so what I do is I cut it in half if it's a especially larger one, and then I take my spoon and just take the seeds out. So I'm going to do that really quick. Just kind of take the tip of your spoon and just run down, right? You could leave it in there. If you notice, we'll get to this. I think this is part of our nutrition lesson. You know, we're talking about staying hydrated, especially on a day like today. The more hydration, the better. So you could leave the seeds in there if you wanted to. I'm just kind of weird like that, in particular. I think, so this salad definitely is one of those that you make it and you eat it right away. You could let it sit maybe a day or two, but I think fresh is best for something like this. And you'll want to eat it. Like when I made it, I came up with this recipe a while back, and so I pulled it out of the archives for you guys. But when I had to make it to take the picture, I remembered how delicious it was, and I couldn't stop eating it. So it didn't really last more than a day. My mom and I were enjoying it. It was quite delicious. Okay, so then I'm just going to cut these probably in half again, and then just make some little like half moon cuts. The colors, the textures, because you guys know me, right? Not a plain lettuce kind of salad person. I try to convince people that eating salad is good, and so I come up with these recipes so that people get excited, and then I'll post them like on my social media, and everybody's like, "Ooh, where's the recipe?" I'm like, "Come to my class."
Are you on Instagram?
I am, but you know what? It's my old business account, so I don't tend to post there anymore. I need to open a new Instagram. I guess TikTok's the best thing now, right? But I can't seem to get into TikTok. It's just, I always say I don't really need to see people singing to their cats or, you know, weird stuff that people do that they think is amusing or interesting. Okay, so look at this. I mean, just this alone looks so pretty, right? Look, it matches the platter too. I love it. It's great. Visuals, ladies. This is how we get people to eat healthy things. Make it look good. But it's also going to taste good. Okay, so there's that. And then the corn. So for this corn, like I said, you could do it on the grill. You could roast it under the broiler, stick it in a pan. I just turned on my gas range and popped them in 6 o'clock yesterday morning before it got too hot. And I was rocking and rolling with my salsa music in the background. I'm like, we're doing this. We're doing it right. And that took, less than 10 minutes. Let that cool. And then all you have to do is just take that off. And I kind of like it when you get these nice little chunks, right? Like that looks great. So you guys will find some of those in your sample. But all of these flavors really say summer, right? Like the corn, all of this is easy to find right now. And it's in season, so hopefully it tastes delicious. Because it is peak season for corn. You can probably find it, I don't know, maybe like 30 cents an ear right now, maybe less. I don't know. The prices are what they are right now. Just like that. I had a chef friend who used to tell me, do it in a bowl so that it doesn't spill everywhere. That's fun sometimes, but sometimes it's fun to get messy too. Look at this. Woo, look how pretty that is. I'm going to do one more. But yeah, I think since I don't quite have enough, I think 6 cups. I don't know. We'll see.
So this one you charge over your stove top?
I did on my stove. I have a gas range, so I did. Yeah.
So only 10 minutes, really?
Really? Yeah. I had them on. I had like 3 burners, full blast. Just keep turning them. It'll sound like you're making popcorn. Yeah.
Very good.
Yes.
Don't have to go get a grill.
Don't have to get a grill. If you got a gas range, do it up on your range. Yeah. And it'll only heat up your house for a couple of, seriously, it didn't take that long. Look how beautiful that is. Okay, you can't go wrong with that. And then the onions.
Put it right on the gas, or is there?
Yep, you put it right.
Are you using tongs to turn?
Yeah,
or?
yeah.
Of course.
I use my
I
tongs.
was gonna say, I was just doing it at a time. I'm being too scared.
No, you can. I
I
mean,
do 2 at a time.
yeah. I had maybe like 2 to 3 on the larger burners, and then I have a burner that kind of goes down the middle. So I kind of had a couple on there, but it wasn't fast enough, so I did the other bigger burners, and that was super fast. Okay, and so then if we had the onions, we would put that on there now too, but you guys will get the sample. And then the beautiful basil, right? Because why not? Could you use another herb? Sure. Basil, I think, is fantastic though, like the flavor. Mint would also be great. This is very similar. You might see recipes like this, a watermelon feta salad. So you could add some nice salty cheese to this if you wanted to. I think that would be delicious. You could also make this recipe and swap out the watermelon and do stone fruit. So any kind of peaches, plums, nectarines, and then the rest of this. Spoiler alert, we do have a stone fruit dessert for the last week. So I will be working that in, just so you know. Okay, so that's pretty much, I mean, you can't go wrong with that. Look at that. Oh, beautiful. And then we're gonna dress this. Let me just give this a stir. And then we'll just do a little like this. Look at that. Beautiful. I want to just eat all of this right now. Now, if you wanted to, you could double the recipe on this dressing because it is really delicious. And like I said, the longer it sits, I had it in my fridge for like a week and I ate it all week and it was so good.
I wish I would have known I would have gotten this for her barbecue.
Well, you can take some of this home for today. So that is basically it, right? I mean, super easy, beautiful colors, fresh flavors here. And really the only thing I cooked was the corn. And you can do that on a grill, like I said, or just do it on your stovetop if you've got a gas range. Could you buy that? Maybe somebody sells grilled corn. Now that's an idea for HEB. 10% right there. So yeah, so that's our beautiful salad. A lot of great hydrating ingredients in that, and that's what we want for the summer. Give your dressings a little shake before you pour it on. But that is our watermelon salad with chipotle dressing. So I will let you all enjoy that. And definitely we'll have some of this to take home. But I'm going to switch us over to our nutrition so we can talk a little bit about that. And then let's move on to nutrition while you guys are enjoying that. But I hear we got the thumbs up, so happy to hear that. Okay, so you guys, I don't know if this was posted, but so the theme of our series this month is summertime and the eating is easy. Okay. So, oh man, I'm so good. Okay. So I wanted to find things, obviously, that are easy to make. You don't have to spend a lot of time in the kitchen because you want to be out there enjoying the summer, right? We only get a couple months out of the year to enjoy the time. It's a slower pace, but also our eating style tends to want to gravitate towards kind of lighter foods. We're not going to be eating like bulky, heavy, hot foods typically. We want something a little more like this, and this is very refreshing. I seriously want to eat all of that right now as it's staring at me. That's fantastic. Did we get that on the video? Look at that. I mean, come on. All right. So the nutrition, I wanted to talk a little bit more about hydration and how important it is, especially in our Texas summers, right? To make sure that we stay hydrated. So it's really critical to stay hydrated because it's not just the heat, it's the combination of the heat, the humidity, and then like prolonged outdoor, exposure. That can cause our fluid and electrolyte balance to basically kind of be out of whack, right? So it's really important to stay hydrated so we avoid things like heat exhaustion or heat stroke. And so here's a couple of tips that I wanted to share just to make sure that we're staying well hydrated and safe this summer. So one of the things that people always say is to drink what? Water, right? So it's recommended the daily water consumption is usually about 8 glasses a day. You can bump this to about 11 and a half during especially higher. Now, I don't know about you, I can barely make it to 8, right? I can barely drink like 2 bottles of water. I'm terrible at it. But you will find, yeah, you'll be peeing every 2 seconds too. I know, seriously, let's just be real, right? Like, I would too. I'm not kidding. But it is important to stay as hydrated. But you can look to something like the foods that you eat also to count as the hydration, right? So it's not just downing the water. But so you can think about foods with high water content, like the watermelon here, the cucumbers, celery's another one. What else do you guys think? High water content foods. Some of your go-tos that you might. These are kind of the good ones. The what? Any kind of yeah, mangoes. Kind of little bit on the sugar side, right? So any kind of like lighter melons, honeydew is a good one. Yeah, celery we said, cucumber. These are kind of my favorites actually. That's why they're in the salad. Oranges are good, yeah, citrus. And then electrolytes, right? Because we need that piece too. So you can purchase like the little powders and put those in your water and all of that, and that's fine. But so some electrolytes like sodium, magnesium, and potassium are also critical. So you can find these in, because your body needs these minerals, right, to function. Otherwise, you're out of whack. My mother had a very low sodium issue twice now, and she ended up, I said, you have to remember to like make sure you're eating enough salt, but she's also got hypertension, so it's like a fine dance, right? But too much low sodium can really make you kind of wacky, and you have to watch it. And we actually were told, like, if you drink too much water, you also have to be careful because you're basically diluting that sodium that you have. So it's kind of a delicate balance, but some of the things to keep in mind are pickles, right? So pickles are great for the summer. Potato salad, you got pickles. Bananas for the potassium, and then think of like your dark leafy greens for magnesium, or dark chocolate is also a great source of magnesium. So if you're not a fan of eating your spinach, grab some dark chocolate. Okay, and then here's one, sad, boo, if you are an alcohol drinker. Limit or avoid alcohol, those crazy energy drinks, and sugary beverages, so things like the sodas, right? Because they're just going to make you thirstier, or they're just going to dehydrate you even more. Caffeine is another one. I know we need it. I did not have it this morning. I'm still functioning. It's okay. It's going to be all right. Okay, so one other thing I wanted to mention. There's a cool graph here. Handouts will be coming to you. The difference between heat exhaustion and heat stroke. I think I probably had heat exhaustion on Thursday because I was out of it. So, heat exhaustion. Some of the symptoms to look for: you may feel faint or dizzy. You may be excessively sweating. Maybe you're kind of cool or clammy, right? Your skin's kind of like pale. You may have some nausea or vomiting, and your pulse could be either weak or rapid. And you could get some cramping, like muscle cramping. And so the key there for heat exhaustion is to make sure you get to a cooler place, air conditioned preferably. Drink water if you're fully alert and conscious and you can drink water. And then take a cool shower or use a cold compress. I did that. So that's, it's serious, but it's treatable. So heat exhaustion. Your body temperature is usually below 103, but that's still high, right? You basically have a fever. You could be having some heavy sweating. Your mental state, you might be out of it. I know I was. Tired, dizzy, and weak, headache, nausea, cramps, and that clammy skin. And then what to do. Basically, hydrate, electrolytes, and cool yourself down as fast as possible. This is probably the second time that I've had something like this happen where I got sick a couple summers ago, and it was in the heat of summer, and I had a fever of like 103. And this was from like a infection that I had or something. And my doctor's like, get in the shower right now. And so I just took a cold shower, and that really helped. But yeah, it's a serious thing. Your body is an amazing thing. It really will help you regulate. But if you have other health complications, that could also make it more serious. So you don't want to get to that point where you're experiencing these symptoms, and then it kind of like makes your other illnesses even worse, right? So kind of be mindful of those symptoms. Now, heat stroke is definitely a medical emergency, and I'll read out some of the symptoms here. Throbbing headache, which I did have. No sweating, so your body's just like, I'm done. Your body temperature can be above 103, and your skin can feel kind of like hot or red and dry. Same with the nausea and vomiting, and then really rapid or a strong pulse, and you may lose consciousness. So if someone is with you, call 911, take immediate action to cool down, like jump in that quick shower if you're able to move. So yes, it can be fatal, so you want to take immediate action, get yourself to, a hospital. You can have some confusion or fainting, even seizures, and definitely make sure that you're trying to stay hydrated, but the key is to, at this point, your body is like at maximum. So you want to make sure that you seek medical attention for this. Don't wait around. Don't try to like do all of the other things and hope for the best. Like get yourself to a hospital and get some care. So not to scare you or anything, but people, you hear stories all the time, especially on the news. People just kind of forget. We leave animals, we leave babies in cars, and there's always like a sad case about something that happens. There were 2 actually this week. These are preventable things. They're easy to take care of, so stay hydrated. Enjoy delicious salads like this one. Stay cool if you can, if you're outdoors. This is the time, right? Find those moments throughout the day when it's a little bit cooler. Early morning, late evening, if you like to get out and get some exercise, find some shade. I see people walking around with the cool umbrellas. Sometimes I don't see them as much anymore, but people used to wear those like fans around their necks. I know when I go out dancing, my friend has like a little electric fan, which is great. And then somebody recently gave me one of those cooling towels. So you wet it and you put it like in the freezer. Those are amazing. I had to use that on the dog because the poor thing was like about to die. So yeah, all of those things are important to remember because it does get so hot. And lately it's been really humid here too. So yesterday we were out and about and I said to my mom, it feels like it's about 100. And I looked at my phone and it said 96, but feels like 104. And I was like, this is why it's important to stay hydrated. So we got some water. We also had some wine. But yeah, definitely kind of make sure you're staying hydrated. And yeah, that's all I have for you ladies today. So any questions before we wrap up? Hydration tips that you guys use? Frozen grapes, that's another one, right? So if you pop some, especially if you forget you got a bag of grapes, pop them in the freezer and then eat them like little snacks. They're so good. All right, that's my last tip for today. We'll see you next week. I think we're doing potato salad, so stay tuned. All right, bye.
Thank you.